What's up, gang? It's your girl Jeanina, and I'm back with another video for you guys. As always, you are watching Pretty Girl Gang TV, where we do nothing but conduct pretty girl business. Okay, so your girl is back. Okay, you guys miss me? I know it's been about a week and a few days. I try to post once a week. If you watch my channel, I usually have videos up once a week, but life has been getting pretty hectic. A lot of things have been going on, Labor Day, just a lot of other things. So I've been dealing with that, but I am back as promised with this video, honey. And today's video is going to be on the Norvina Pro Pigment palette. My last video, I mentioned this palette because I did end up buying the palette and the actual Coral Crush lipstick set that came with it. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, maybe you've been living under a rock, Norvina did launch another palette, and this palette is called the ABH Norvina Pro Palette Collection Volume 1. So I guess she's gonna come out with a Volume 2, maybe a Volume 3, maybe a Volume 4. Who knows? If you guys don't know who Norvina is, she is actually the daughter of Anastasia Beverly Hills, and she actually came out with her very own palette a while back, maybe like a year or two. And here's the actual original palette for her, and it's purple. I feel like Norvina's favorite color is purple. Her hair is purple, her whole aesthetic is purple. So I think maybe her spirit is just purple, because it seems like everything that has to do with her is purple, which is really cool. But her original palette, as you can see, is way smaller than this Norvina Pro Pigment palette. It's like literally like 3 different ones of these. This palette also differs from Norvina's first palette because I believe this is a pigment palette. It has all pigments, and I think it has some shimmers, but I believe all of these colors in here are not shadows, they're pigments, so that's why they're called the Pro Pigment palette. And if you guys don't know, pigments actually differ from shadows. They seem to be more packed with color, and I seem to get more fallout with pigments, but we'll see how this palette goes. This palette is also used for like artistry too, I believe, because that's what they call pro palettes or artistry palettes. It's not just for your eyes. It can be like for your entire face or just some type of edgy makeup designer look. You know how people do those like blank canvas looks and, you know, stuff like that. Now, you guys know me, I am not a makeup artist by any means. I am just a regular, degular, schmegular girl, okay? I just want to look poppin' with my makeup, okay? So I did end up investing in this palette because I love the colors, and we will get to the colors in a minute. I will show you guys the colors. But anyway, what I was saying, I am not a makeup artist. I am not a professional cosmetologist or anything like that. I don't really work with pigments. I have a few pink pigments, but I'm not a pro at pigment, so this is going to be something different for me, and we're gonna see if my amateur self can handle this pro palette, okay? So this is the palette unboxed. It looks exactly like the sleeve it came in. It comes with 25 pressed pigments, which is impressive for Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I must admit, this is what made me go out and get this palette. Honestly, girl, I haven't really purchased anything from Anastasia Beverly Hills since this first original palette from Norvina, because Anastasia just wasn't putting out something that I felt like I needed, that I wanted to gravitate towards. So when I heard about this palette, I ran out and bought it for that very reason. This palette is different. It's obviously bigger than any of Anastasia's original palettes. It has some really vibrant different colors in it. It has 25 shadows. I mean, I feel like this was worth the retail price, which is $60. And you can purchase this at Sephora online and Anastasia Beverly Hills, the website online. I did go and purchase this from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Now, let me tell you guys, when I purchased this palette along with the liquid lipstick Coral Crush set, it did come with a free sample of Anastasia Beverly Hills' eyeshadow primer here. And we're gonna use that today. You guys know my holy grail is my Sigma eyeshadow primer in the color Ignite. Okay, that is my holy grail. But because we got a little sample here, we're also gonna try this sample. So in today's video, we're just gonna play around with this palette. We're gonna review it. We're gonna look at the colors. We're gonna see how these pressed pigments work. And we're gonna see if my amateur regular schmegular self can handle this pro palette, okay? If you guys are interested in seeing what look or disaster I come up with, keep on watching. Okay, so now that I got you guys all zoomed in, let's go ahead and open her so I can show you guys the colors. She comes with a huge mirror, as you can see, and here are the colors. I'll bring it a little close so you guys can see. There are 25 pigments, and also I forgot to mention that this palette did come with like a little insert that named all of the pigments that weren't deemed eye safe. So if you have like really sensitive eyes when it comes to pigment and eyeshadows, I would just read that little insert. It was quite a bit of colors too, which concerned me, but I don't have sensitive eyes. So just a little warning, you know, if you have sensitive eyes, you might want to look at that little insert that it came with. So anyway, back to the palette, girl. Now, it has 25 shades, and as you can see, these shades are pretty impressive. It has a lot of purples and a lot of pinks. I feel like that's Norvina's aesthetic though, like I mentioned earlier in the video. She seems to be like purple, pink. She seems to be like a purple, pink, kindred spirit, this girl. So of course she has like some purples in there. She also has some shimmers in there. There's a lot of mattes. Ooh, and this color right here is calling my name, honey. Also, a thing about this palette is that it doesn't have names. All the shades are named, I think, A through E. A through E for letters, and then 1 through 5 for numbers. So this one, for example, is A1. And I personally don't like that. I mean, I know it's easier for makeup artists. I mean, I get the science behind it because I guess it's easier for makeup artists to just know a shade number or a letter instead of having to remember the shade names, you know. But I kind of like when people name the shades because it just adds a little bit of touch of personality, you know, because this is her collab, this is Norvina's collab, or this is her palette. So I just like the names because I feel like it adds a little bit more personality, and you get to know the person, you get to know what they like and what they're thinking about, and like kind of why they picked the shade that they picked to go in their palette. So anyway, that's just a little tea on that palette. So I'm gonna do some swatches for you guys. I'm just gonna do like maybe a few colors that are really calling my name because, you know, there's a lot of shades here. So I'm gonna do, let's try A1 here first. Ooh, and this is a shimmer and it's very pretty. It's like a light lilac color and it's very buttery also. We'll do that shade. We'll also do A3, this pink shimmery shade, because girl, you know I'm a pink girl, okay? I love pink. Ooh, look at that one. That one's really, really pretty. Let's pick up a matte color. We'll choose this one right here, D3. And this is like, maybe like a sienna, or, oh no. Oh no, girl, it's not a sienna. It's like a red, girl, look. This color is straight up red, beautiful. And then we'll also try this yellow D1 right here. We'll try this yellow shade. Oh, and they also have a white in here. You see that? C1, they have an actual white. We're gonna try that one too because it's hard to get like a good white eyeshadow. So here are my 4 colors and I'm just gonna swatch them for you guys on my hand. And here they are. The yellow didn't really turn out too good. So let's swatch that one again. That one was the color D1. That one's a little patchy, girl. Let's see. We'll swatch her up here and see how she goes. Okay, yeah, girl, this yellow is a little patchy now. I'm actually doing it again over. Oh yeah. See? It's like barely there. Okay, clock it, girl. clock the yellow now, because I actually want to use the yellow. Now, I don't know what look I'm going to go with as usual, girl. I'm always just winging it in these videos. Like, maybe I should start planning my looks. But I actually wanted to use this yellow, but now looking at it, it's kind of like patchy, but we'll try to use it. I was going to go for like maybe a yellow, red, blue look. I don't know, because these blues are very stunning, and that's D4 here and D2 here. Those blues are very stunning. So anyway, let's go ahead and prime our eyes with this Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow primer and get started. Okay, so I did want to mention I did wash my swatches off, and the red right here actually did stain a little bit. Not too much, but you know, we're working with pigment, so I feel like pigment stain, they stain your brushes too. But if you don't like staining, this palette is, I feel like, definitely gonna stain, because these colors are pretty pigmented. So anyway, I got the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palette, and we're just gonna prime our eyes real quick. Oh, okay. She's a tad watery. Ooh, might have put too much, girl. I like the color, because the color is definitely gonna bring out those pigments. But I feel like I put too much. Okay, so we got our eyeshadow primer blended out, and my first impressions of this eyeshadow primer is that it's actually pretty liquidy. Like, I didn't think it was gonna come out so liquidy. It didn't look liquidy on my eye, but it's actually very thin and very spreadable, so like that's good. So for me, I'm kind of used to working with thicker eyeshadow primers. I find thicker ones better to do cut creases and stuff with, and like kind of control where the liquid goes. So that's something that I don't like about this, that it's pretty thin, but I do like the color. I feel like it's a very light color, so it's gonna like amplify all these pigments, girl. So now we'll see how the eyeshadows will perform on the eyeshadow primer. So like I said, I don't know what eye look I'm gonna go with. I just wing it in these videos, girl. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and go with D1, which is this yellow shade, and I'm gonna put that in my crease. I kind of want to do I'm thinking yellow to orange to red type of look, so we'll see. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and use that shade and put it in our crease, okay? So I'm just going to take my little fluffy blending brush, because as you can see, when we swatched that color, it was kind of light, kind of faint, kind of patchy. So I'm gonna need something fluffy in order to just kind of build up the color, place it where I want to place it. So I'm gonna dip that in. Oh, and it did pick up some color. So let's see how that goes. Okay, so the color is showing up. It's showing very lightly though, so we're gonna have to go in on this color. So we're gonna dip into this. Oh, there we go. Okay. I spoke too soon, right? Talking all that ish, and then she just snuck up on me, huh? And I'm actually taking this color kind of high up my brow bone, because I kind of want to show a difference in the color. So I kind of want like a yellow, orange, red type of gradient look. And I'm also just sort of blending her out, and so far it blends out very good, the color, but the color is very faint. So you have to kind of pack this color on pretty good. Fortunately, we don't need it to be as pigmented on the crease part. But I'm just saying, with this particular shade, I feel like you're gonna have to pack it on if you really want this yellow to work for you. Like if you want to do a look with this yellow, it's gonna have to be packed on. Okay, so I got the color D1, that yellow, all on my crease, and as you can see, it kind of made this little like dry patch here, or it just kind of clung on to this little dry patch here, the shadow. I don't know if that's from the eyeshadow primer or what, but it just kind of clung to this little part here, if you guys can see. Let me see if I can like blend it out a little bit. mean, I don't know. We'll keep going and see what happens. So the next color I'm gonna dig into, I think I'm gonna go ahead and go with the D3, which is that red color that we swatched earlier. Like I said, I kind of want to do like a yellow to orange to red effect. And you know, if you refer to the color wheel, yellow and red, I think make orange, right? Is that right? I don't know. I want to go with that like yellow to orange to red effect. So I'm going to go ahead and put some red, and I'm going to place the red just a little beneath the yellow right here, just so I can still have some yellow in there. But I'm just going to kind of place it right underneath there with a little packing brush. So we're going to take that. Ooh, and look at that. That's going to be pigmented, girl. So let's see how this goes. Oh yeah. I'm just gonna pack that color on. Ooh, yes, super red. And I'm just gonna take a fluffy blending brush and I'm gonna start blending that out. I'm just gonna pack that color on all over my lid. Start blending that out. So I'm just kind of smoking the red and the yellow together. And as you can see, it's already starting to turn orange here. But I'm going to pack another color in there. I'm gonna take this color E3, this like burnt mustard color, and I'm gonna go over the yellow that I did already. And I'm gonna go over that original color, which was D1, because I feel like that D1 is not deep enough. So we're gonna use this E3, and this is how it looks on the brush. And I'm just going to place it where I placed that yellow and kind of soften up the edge of that red as well. So we'll do that and see what happens, because I don't like how that original yellow was looking. Okay, so I definitely like this yellow better. This yellow is definitely better. It's giving me that yellow-orange look that I'm looking for. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick with this yellow. And I'm not really getting any fallout, and I'm kind of shocked because normally with pigments, I get a lot of fallout. And that's why I wore my robe today, because I'm like, not sure how the fallout was gonna be, so I didn't want to get my clothes like all messed up. But so far this is working really good with no fallout. Okay guys, so we packed on that red and I did my other eye, as you can see. Now I'm gonna go back in with that color E3, that mustard yellow color, and I'm just gonna go in and further diffuse the harsh line between the red and the yellow and just kind of start smoking it out more and more, okay? So I'm just gonna take that yellow here and I'm just smoking it out, and I'm also gonna pick up the red and smoke the red out as well. We're all blended out and I like how it's looking so far. It's not as orange as I want it to be, I'll say that. Like I really wanted it to be like, you know, that yellow to orange to red tier, but I feel like we're doing okay, okay? For an amateur who's only worked with pigments here and there, I feel like I'm doing good. So now we're gonna do the bottom lash line, and I think for the bottom lash line, I'm gonna go with this blue, and that is D4 right here. Let's go ahead and swatch that. Like, this blue actually has some like blue reflectance. I don't know if you guys can see. It's a matte shade, but it has like these light blue reflectance. It's so pretty. So I'm gonna take this little tight lining brush here and we're gonna go on our lower lash line with that D4 blue color, and it picks up a lot, so let's be careful. Now I'm gonna take my little fat man brush, and it has the tip on it there, and I'm gonna just smoke it out at the bottom lash line. Now we're gonna go on with some inner corner highlight, and there's a few shimmers in here that I'm thinking about. A4 is one of them. It's like this gold color here. We'll swatch that on my finger so you guys can see. And then also this C2, it seems to be like a pure gold color. So we'll swatch that also on a clean finger. Ooh, you know what? Let's go ahead and go with C2, that really true like golden color on the inner corner highlight, since we're being like super daring today, because this is kind of like a daring look for me. I don't normally do this type of look, so let's see. Oh, okay. This gold is not playing. What color is this? C2, girl. C2 is not playing around now. Now this one I'm getting kind of a little kickback with, a little bit of fallout. It's falling all over the pan, and I feel like it's kind of falling on me also. But it's also like kind of a glitter, so that's to be expected. Ooh. Honey, I really like this gold though. Okay guys, I'm gonna finish the rest of my makeup off camera and come back to you with my final thought. What's up gang? Your girl is back, and here is my completed final finished look, okay? And in order to finish this entire look, I had to keep a G and keep the theme with ABH, and I used their new liquid lipstick in Red Coral in the Coral Crush set. If you guys haven't watched the video of me swatching all 4 of these, girl, you gotta check that video out. These are actually very beautiful. I'm not typically a coral girl, but these colors are absolutely beautiful. So anyway, my final thoughts on Norvina's Pro Pigment Palette Volume 1. Now, this retails for $60, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, which is pretty pricey. Normally, ABH palettes go for $45, but you are getting 25 shades in this palette, which is really good for $60, because there are some brands, I'm not gonna name names, but their palettes are like $120, girl, and you're only getting like 12 shadows. So sticking on topic, like I mentioned, I am an amateur, I am a beginner, and this palette is called the Pro Palette, okay? And it's called the Pro Palette for a reason. As you can see, the pigments are super pigmented, and this palette has a variety of colors in it. So I feel like if you're not into colors, if you're not into bold colors, then this palette probably isn't for you. But I feel like you can do a neutral look with this palette. It does have some like browns here and a few like muted shades. The only thing I will say about this palette, since we didn't use all the shades, was that original shade that I used, D1, this first yellow, it sucked. Okay, like let's just be real. Like it was very faint, it was very light, it didn't really go on as pigmented as I thought it would. But then when we dug into that second yellow, girl, what was that second yellow called? It was called E3, this color. Now that color fixed it. But I also was kind of disappointed because I wanted that true yellow like the first original one. But I feel like the look still turned out okay, girl, okay? I still got my like little orange gradient a little bit. I still got what I was looking for. So I can't really complain too much. I got minimal fallout, which was a surprise for me, okay? Because normally when I work with pigments, I'm not saying everybody else, I'm not saying all pigments, but normally when I work with pigments, I get major fallout. And that's why I didn't do my foundation first, even though normally I do my eyes first and then I do my foundation. I didn't do my foundation first in this video because I was afraid that I was gonna get tons of fallout with this pigment, but surprisingly I didn't. The only fallout I got was with the inner corner highlight. I mean, keep in mind, we didn't use every single shade, so we're not sure how the other shades perform, but I will say that that one did have a little bit of fallout. Things that I do like about the palette, okay, I do like the fact that it has a variety of shades. I feel like I can take this with me. And despite it being a pro palette, okay, I feel like my amateur self did pretty good with this palette. And I feel like if you are an amateur and you want to go ahead and invest in this palette, because it is a little bit pricey, $60 is pricey, I would say go ahead and do it. I mean, if anything, you can practice, even though it's an eyeshadow palette that's a little expensive to practice on. I feel like you don't need to use a lot, so you will have this palette for a long time because the pigment of these shadows are great. And as you can see, all you need is a little bit goes a long way, girl, and you just got all kinds of colors going on your eyes, okay? Like, so I feel like if you are an amateur like me, yes, you can go ahead and get this palette, girl. You can go ahead and try it, because I did, and I feel like my look turned out great. Now, I want to talk about the packaging, because normally I mention it in the beginning of the video and I didn't. The packaging is very hard. It's like a hard plastic, very different from Anastasia's other palettes. Like, for example, here is the Norvina palette, and it's like a velvety color, and it's like a velvety feel. And normally all the palettes come like this. It's either like a nice velvet suede feeling or something like that. And this one is just kind of a hard plastic. It's very sturdy. I feel like it's very sturdy, and even if you were to drop it on the ground, I feel like it has that sturdiness that it won't necessarily break, maybe as much, depending on how far you break it. But I really do like palettes that are in this hard case, because I feel like it protects the shadows more. So I appreciate that. This palette is a little bigger, but I still feel like you can travel with it. I'm gonna travel with it. I'm probably gonna take this one with me on my Jamaica trip for my birthday. My birthday's in February, and I've already been planning a Jamaica trip with my best friend. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and take this palette, because you can do some sickening looks with this palette, okay? And that's it. Those are my thoughts, and that's all I got for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this look as much as I enjoyed creating this look. Girl, if you are thinking about getting this palette, I would go ahead and get this palette, especially if you're like me. You're an amateur, you're a beginner, girl. You're a regular, schmegular, degular girl like me. You can go ahead and use this palette. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Go ahead and comment, like, and subscribe to your girl. Only if you want to, girl. No pressure, okay? I never pressure anybody into subscribing to my channel. I get it, but if you want to subscribe, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell button so you can be notified every time the gang posts a video, okay? And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.